for staying with us here on STL TV Live. I'm back with Linda Kennedy from the Black Rep. And we were talking about Pearly, which is showing right now.
Right.
I wanted to ask you, is there anything you wanted to highlight about this remaining week of the play?
Well, tomorrow, interestingly enough, we have a student matinee. Kelvin Roston Jr., who plays Pearly, graduated from Cardinal Ritter. And so we'll have students from that school, and then we have a couple other schools and maybe a senior group that will also come to view it. So that's an early morning. That's an early morning call that most of us aren't accustomed to.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I said, there's a lot of talented people. The young woman playing, Ludi Bell, I had the pleasure of directing her. She was in our intern program and was in Mountaintop. That was a play about Dr. King, and I had the opportunity to work with her. So now people get to see her or hear her singing talent in addition to her acting talents. And there are a lot of, you know, new people, new energies. I think that's one of the things that in our 38 years we've tried to do, is to bring in new people, give other people a chance. You know, in the early years we had a solid company. We still have that solid group of people to pull from, but we're always happy to see new people come in.
See new people. So before we went to break, I was talking about looking at the season, and it's a nice, you know, nice lineup, a nice kind of curated season that you've got. After Pearly, we have A Raisin in the Sun.
Raisin in the Sun.
And so is there, I always wonder from, you know, from the artistic standpoint, is it like A Raisin in the Sun, we have to do it every couple years? Is it just, I mean, it's a favorite of everyone. It's a huge, I mean, sort of cultural, sort of iconic piece, really, in American history. So is there the need to kind of do that every couple years?
Yeah, you know, we have to, you have new audiences, you have new young people. Like I said, we have our student matinees, so you have those classes that focus on certain literature. And it's good to bring back, because there are times when people don't get to know African-American playwrights, and so we do somewhat recycle. Ron also tries to do things that, you know, the early Negro Ensemble Company was doing at one point, bringing back some of those plays, keeping them in the hearts and minds of people. You know, just like the other theater companies showcase those as you go from generation to generation. I think it's just as important to keep those plays in the forefront.
Well, we've got that A Raisin in the Sun, followed by, in February, Stick Fly, then Paul Robeson, which Ron is directing, and Once on This Island.
Once on This Island, another romantic comedy that will also be at the Edison. So we'll have 3 that take place at Harris Stowe stage, and then we'll move back to Warshu for the final production.
I did want to ask you about that, because that was sort of last year or so that you started working or performing at Harris Stowe at the Emerson Theater there. How is that been
very
so far?
good. Yeah, thus far it's been very good. I think, you know, having parking that's easy, especially for the people who do come to see us. Parking is important, not having to walk great distances, because we have a mature audience, and we're hoping to develop more young audiences, and especially being on college campuses. And so you do get more of a mix and blend.
Yeah, I think it's a good, and you know, sticking in that Grand Center area, it's not too far from where the Grandel used to be. I did want to ask you, Black Rep moved offices, and so now you're in U-City?
We're in U-City. We went from one end of Olive to another end of Olive. So we're at Olive in Kingsland, a beautiful space. We had been using that space for storage, and so now the offices have been redone, revamped. We also have our rehearsal space there. So everything, you know, it's really great. The same thing happened when we were on the other end of Olive. Everything was together, and you don't have to travel great distances. You can start pulling costumes or pulling props. And it makes it easier to have your production meetings, and staff meetings all at the same time.
Okay, well, no, thank you for being here. And you know, you've got one. This is your last week, right?
This is our last week.
Until we see you again, perhaps later on in the season. So, but it's always great to see you, and thank you. Thank you for being here. So the Black Rec currently, it's Pearly. It's right now. Performances are taking place right now at the Edison Theater on the campus of Washington University. The information's right there for you on the screen. 314-534-3810 for tickets, or head to theblackrep.org if you want to learn more about Pearly, or really the whole 38th season, which is about 5 productions that range in different styles, genres, but again, hits at social justice, romance, and even stuff for the family. So check it out again, theblackrep.org. When we return on STL TV Live, we'll chat with Shanda Higginson from the St. Louis Vintage Market Days. We'll be right back after this break.